Welcome back to another episode of the V Camp podcast, where our Nebraska postseason depression begins, but not enough time to reflect on that because we got some crazy stuff going on this Saturday with conference championship weekend. And we'll talk some bowl games too.
We will talk some
Because
bowl games.
bowl games are the only thing holding life together in college football.
That's true. Yeah, we've got some big rankings from the playoff committee and some terrible analysis of their rankings by their committee chair Hunter Yurachek. He
Stupid committee.
doesn't know how to explain his decisions. He just tries to use all these fancy words. None of it makes sense.
It's because he's not actually doing anything. The committee isn't doing anything. The BCS computer is cooking, and they're changing a few things. It's like when I use ChatGPT to write me a paper.
Yeah, very similar. Just using the computer, and then
Yep.
I mean, that's all they do. They use a bunch of metrics and they figure out how they can put Notre Dame above Miami without having to watch any of the games because we all know they don't watch any of the games.
Mm-hmm. If you've been an avid viewer of our YouTube content, not just listen on live stream, you might be noticing, wow, how is that sign floating? Usually it sits here on the couch.
We developed levitation.
We did develop levitation,
And so
we will be selling it online shortly. You can super chat us $100 and we will send you our levitation device.
Yep, that's very true.
Send us money
Send us
right
money,
now,
please.
or you won't get it.
Because we just bought this on-air sign for a lot of money.
Yeah,
It set us back, and we are investing in this for you guys.
Yes,
And we're not getting anything in return.
you
right
can
now.
get levitation before Jeff Bezos buys it from us.
Yep, that's
He's
true.
not even going to sell it to the public. He's going to use it for whatever freaky stuff that bald guy does.
He is a little freaky. But anyways, let's get to the college football playoff rankings. And before we get to what the committee and all the athletic directors said about who should be ranked where, let's get to where two college kids think people should be ranked. So,
Because we're smarter than them. We may not be qualified to be athletic directors, but we're overqualified to talk about college football.
and these are our rankings. They are somewhat similar to the playoff rankings, but not completely. And so you'll see we go Ohio State at 1, Indiana 2, Georgia 3, Texas Tech 4. Those are your four buys, so they will not.
They are in no matter what.
Yes, absolutely. All of them are in no matter what. And then you go down, you have Oregon at 5. This is where the AP disagrees.
Oregon is in no matter what.
Yes. This is where the AP disagrees with College Football Playoff Committee and us. They have Oregon above Texas Tech. The committee rightfully knows Texas Tech should be above Oregon, and so good on the committee for that.
Good job, committee.
So they're in no matter what. Ole Miss is
barring any thing that happened to Marshall back in the 70s. If that were to happen, they would not be in.
Okay, there's no need for that, but yes, that is true.
You never know. The world's a crazy place.
That's true.
Lane Kiffin might be sabotaging. You never know.
Ole Miss is in. The committee did not decide to knock the Ole Miss Rebels for Lane Kiffin leaving for the Tigers.
Why would they? He's not their quarterback.
So the
He's
thing
not Florida State.
the thing is, in the committee's rules, they have a rule that states they can change the rankings if the coach or a player is not available for the playoff games. And so they decided we're not going to go with that. We don't think that's true. I always hear, like, I've not always been hearing, but I keep hearing people saying, like, oh, they lost their whole coaching staff and their offense is gone. They're keeping their offensive coordinator for the playoffs.
Yep.
Their defensive coordinator is now their head coach.
Well, LSU was allowing their offensive coordinator to stay for the playoffs.
And then they have a lot of their position coaches still. So they've retained most of their staff. They just lost Lane. But
and if you want to compare this back to what happened to Florida State a few years ago, look, here's the thing. It was just funnier what happened to Florida State. It would be rude to do this to Ole Miss because it's just Lane Kiffin just being a jerk and leaving. Jordan is just funny. Ole Miss, Florida State's just a more annoying fan base. So.
The other thing about the Florida State situation is
it was funny.
We had watched them play games with their backup quarterback in, and they did not look good.
One game.
Yeah, and it looked bad against Louisville.
They won.
It looked bad. We have not seen what Ole Miss is without Lane Kiffin. So there is no reason for anybody to drop them just based on pure speculation that they would be worse, because there's nothing proving that they would be worse.
If anything, the team itself has more to play for now that Lane Kiffin is gone.
Very true.
And like, let's be honest, Lane Kiffin is a really good head coach. Might not be the best like overall leader style head coach. If Kirby Smart was to leave Georgia, that would be super duper detrimental to the players. Not saying that it isn't hurting Ole Miss. I'm
Right.
sure that locker room's been freaked out, but if you just kind of get the vibe that's going on, Ole Miss is going to come in swinging.
Yeah, I think so.
And we'll get to this later, but there could be some very sad G5 team that has to go to Oxford, Mississippi.
Very true. That 11 seed.
That they magically might wind up in the playoff. We'll see.
Let's see. At 7, we got Texas A&M, dropped after they lost to Texas, but still solidly in. Oklahoma at 8, also solidly in the playoff. Now, this is where we get to a point where they might be out. Like, there is possibility for them to drop out, and it's also where we get to some disagreement with the committee. So Bama at 9 is agreed upon by us in the committee, but we have BYU at 10, and then Miami and Notre Dame at 11 and 12. And so the committee has Notre Dame at 10, BYU 11, Miami 12.
Yeah.
And what I have been thinking, I've been like reflecting on this. You can't just say we think Notre Dame is the better team now. I think after the SMU loss that Miami had, I think that was a valid line of thinking.
And I've been thinking it all the way till this past week.
Notre Dame looks like they're better than Miami right now.
They do.
And I think that was fair after Miami's second loss.
Yep.
But Miami has rattled off 4 wins in a row against half-decent ACC opponents, and that's who Notre Dame is playing anyways.
Yeah.
If you look at common opponents, this isn't even talking about their head-to-head. If you look at their common opponents, most of the time Miami is beating the common opponents by more than Notre Dame is. Obviously different scenarios, and they're both winning the games, but that is something to be said. And Miami beat Notre Dame.
Did Notre Dame play Louisville?
Notre Dame did not play Louisville.
Okay.
And they did not play SMU.
Yeah, good to remember that.
And
it's very interesting. Very interesting. Look, we both think that Notre Dame is a better team than Miami right now, but now that like neither of these teams are going to play another game until the playoff.
Yep, if they get in.
If they get in. Assuming they both do get in, we're going to put Notre Dame and Miami right next to each other and say, all right, Miami has a head-to-head win. They should be seated higher.
Yep, that's true. And
if they get in.
If they get in. But they're by my
rankings, drop them both out, put BYU and Vanderbilt in there.
Yeah, and we have BYU right here in at 10. They only have 1 loss to Texas Tech. Other than that, they've beaten all their Big 12 opponents.
Powerhouse Iowa State.
They've beaten Utah at Utah. Utah's at 15. They're around that they're at 15 in the committee and the AP as well. That's a good win.
Utah has 2 losses, and those are to the top 2 teams in its conference, who are both top 10 teams, top 10 caliber teams.
Yeah, I think so. And so we're putting BYU in.
Yeah.
Now, where it gets interesting is
go Crumble Cookie. Just got to say that. Crumble Cookie, Mormon, go buy yourself a Crumble Cookie to support the Mormon church keeping Kalani Sitake at BYU.
Kalani Sitake. That's all right.
What he said.
So what could happen is Bama and BYU both play in the conference championship games this week.
Yeah.
If they both lose, will they stay in the playoff according to what we would have it as, or would they drop out? I would say there is no reason for them to drop out because they earn the right to play an extra game. However, I would say if Georgia loses, I would probably put Texas Tech above them. Because I will change seeding based on the conference championship game. I will not change who's in the playoff, if that makes sense.
I like that.
I would not drop out BYU. Now, the committee does not have BYU in the playoff. So
because they're stupid.
We're going to get to what is going to happen in a second. But this is what we should be seeing right now, and we're not. We're not seeing BYU in. But I would keep BYU in no matter what. I would leave Miami and Notre Dame out, and so they can have a little scuffle in a bowl game or whatever.
Yeah. We're not saying that our ranking's better. We're just saying that we know more than committee, and therefore our ranking is better.
Exactly what he said.
Yeah.
So we have Miami, Notre Dame, and because we need 5 conference champions, Miami and Notre Dame would not be in the playoff in our scenario. Instead, it would go from the top 2 conference champions from this list right here. And before we get to that,
group of crap.
Before we get to that, we round out our top 16 with Texas, Vandy, Utah, USC. Texas should be above Vandy. They beat them, but Texas is not a playoff caliber team. Overall, I've said this a lot to you. You've said it as well. There's a lot of good but not great teams this year.
Oh, so much good teams. There's like this there's a different format that I was throwing around to you earlier, and it's like we have so many like good teams that are comparable from different conferences that could play each other.
And we can see who's better.
And we could literally see who's better on the field in independent games in like different cities and unique stadiums.
Maybe sponsored by certain like brands.
Like Pop-Tarts, Cheez-Its, The Rate, Outback, Fiesta Tostitos. They play in Arizona. They have
that
Fiesta
is now
people down there.
That's the new Verbo Fiesta Bowl, but
Verbo?
We can still call it Tostitos.
It was PlayStation at one point.
Yeah.
FedEx a while ago. They're called bowl games, and you could just have all these teams play each other in them, and that would be a really beautiful thing to watch.
That's
the
true.
Best teams in the country playing independent bowl games.
And what if
maybe from there? What were you gonna say?
What if you were going right to where I was gonna say?
We're on the same page.
Yep.
Maybe from there you move into a shortened playoff format, or you have a very
maybe the top 2
non-committee teams. Top 2, maybe even top 4 after bowl game.
Maybe even top 4, but like top 2 would be pretty clear. And you're saying maybe like not a committee decides that, but maybe like what's maybe like a computer
something or someone like a commissioner.
Ooh.
Josh Pate.
And maybe he has a cabinet.
Maybe Nick Saban, Kirk.
Kirk.
Do I have a stutter now?
I think so.
Did I stutter?
Kirk.
I did stutter. Yeah, maybe they even get not Will Compton.
They could put Will Compton, Taylor Lewan on the cabinet.
They could not put Will Compton on it. Nebraska would somehow find his way in there. Bo Pelini would be given a team, and he would get in there somehow. No, but like even an 8-team playoff would be better than this. You look at the 8 teams here, knock out Oklahoma because they stink.
But Oklahoma beat Bama, so I'm fine putting them in there.
I just hate Oklahoma.
But take the top 8 teams. One of these teams is going to win the national championship.
Those are some powerhouse teams right there. I like that.
Yep. And if you went back to 4, you could go here. You've got Big Ten, projected Big Ten champion, projected Big Ten runner-up, projected SEC champion, and the projected Big 12 champion.
Yep.
And if they lose their conference championship game, now that conference championship game has some weight to it, if they lose it, Texas Tech is out, Oregon's probably in.
Here's another cool scenario. I think Ole Miss could go toe-to-toe with any of those teams. I think Oregon, they could have a chance. Texas A&M certainly could. And then you have your little Oklahoma guy in there. And that's 8 team could look really good this year.
8 team could look good. It usually looks good every year. When you get to this time of the year and you're putting out the brackets, you're like, well, yeah, we got to throw some more teams in here to make it 12.
Yeah.
But if you had an 8, you would know, these are the top 8 teams. And then there's like, these 4 extras are like close, but they're not really there.
Yeah. If anyone's seriously considering going to a 16-team playoff, please listen to this. Just go with the BCS model. Have your 8 independent BCS bowl games, and then from there you go do an 8-team playoff format. That's what I would do. You have your bowl games, and then you just dwindle down from there. I guess that's already kind of what it would be like. But
that would be a 16-team playoff.
That would be a 16-team playoff. But you don't have. But you don't have the bye system. You don't have like your automatic qualifier system. You just take 16 top teams, put them in bowl games. Let's go.
Yeah, very true. So
I don't know.
Talk about that. Let's talk about the group of 5 in the ACC real quick.
Group of 5 ACC.
We have 6 teams that could still make the college football playoff that will not make it as an at-large team.
Yes.
So we have Virginia, Tulane, James Madison, North Texas, Duke, and the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. All 6 of those teams could still make the college football playoff, and we're going to lay out the case. I will lay out the case for each of them, and Austin will tell you how absurd it is that they even have a chance to make it.
Spoiler alert, it's absurd.
Number 1, Virginia. They need to beat Duke like they already did earlier this season, and they will be locked in to the 11 seed in the college football playoff. They are 10-2, 6-2 in conference. Or no.
Well,
they're not 6-2. They're 7-1 in conference, I believe.
With an out of conference
opponent,
non-conference loss.
Yep. Anything to add there? I think it's pretty straightforward. That's basically the Clemson scenario from last year, where Clemson came in as a 12 seed, but they wouldn't have made it normally.
Virginia reminds me of a worse version of TCU from a few years ago that got to the national championship game. They've grittied their way into their own title game, but like TCU was at least winning all their games up until the conference title.
Virginia's not even winning all of them.
No, Virginia's lost 3 games.
Two games.
2 games?
Yep.
Feels like they've lost more.
They've lost to NC State and Louisville.
Didn't they lose to Wake Forest?
No. That was someone else.
That's just how confusing it is in the ACC.
Dude, the ACC had a 5-way tie
It's
for
just
second.
more deep. Remember that. Remember what we said on their other podcast.
It's just more deep.
It's just more deep.
And then second, we have Tulane. Tulane is in with a win against North Texas, barring nothing else happening. The winner of that game, Tulane and North Texas, right now I would rank, out of these 6 teams, I would rank Tulane above James Madison. I would rank North Texas below James Madison. But whoever wins that game will end up ranked above James Madison because it's just an extra data point, and James Madison is playing Troy, and it was just not good. And so third, James Madison needs some help. The James Madison Dukes, I believe, the Dukes, they are big Duke fans for James Madison as well as the Blue Devils because they need Duke to beat Virginia in order for James Madison to get into that 12th playoff spot because JMU will be ranked above Duke. Duke's nowhere close to the college football playoff rankings right now. They're 7-5. They're nowhere close to the top 25. James Madison is in the top 25. And so
Duke has the same record as Nebraska, but they're playing in a worse conference.
Yeah.
Didn't you tell me how it is?
Nebraska's strength of record is better than Duke's?
Allegedly. I kind of made that up, but it just certainly feels like it.
Yeah.
Our strength of schedule was certainly harder.
Yeah.
The types of people you're playing on the field were a lot harder. Nebraska, who's to say they wouldn't be in the ACC title game this year?
Not many people could tell you that.
That's a hypothetical that we should not be getting close to right now.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Fourth, we have North Texas. Again, if they beat Tulane, they will be in the playoff as the G5 representative. We're going to skip UNLV for just a second because I would rank them above Duke, but I'll tell you that scenario in a second. Duke needs some help to get in.
Yeah.
I don't think there is really a path for them to get in because they need to beat Virginia, which takes them out. The winner of Tulane and North Texas is in, and then they have JMU and UNLV above them.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess they need Boise State to beat UNLV, and they need James Madison to lose to Troy in the Sun Belt Conference Championship game, and then they would get in as the 12th seed. That is utter just garbage. It sucks that there's even a possibility. So they do have a path, but it's an ugly path that's very unlikely to happen, but it is there. And so hopefully that doesn't happen. Now, the path for UNLV is, since I would rank them above Duke, I'm not saying the committee would do that. I would rank them above Duke. They need Duke to beat Virginia, the winner of Tulane, North Texas, and then Troy to beat JMU, and then UNLV beats Boise State. And then they would be in as the 12th seed, as the highest ranked second group of 5 champion, because they'd be ranked higher than Duke. So basically what we hear is we are in for a crapshoot if Duke beats Virginia and Troy beats JMU.
Honestly,
it's a
you gotta root
crapshoot
for it.
anyways. It's a crapshoot anyways.
Yeah. I mean, you had a
Because-
5-way tie for second place in a conference.
Yeah.
And 7-5 Duke got in over 10-2 Miami
Yep.
because Miami couldn't get their stuff together.
Yep. Exactly. So that's the scenarios. It'll most likely end up being Virginia and Tulane. It'll probably just coast that out. But if Duke wins, it gets messy, and you're going to be seeing a 6 seed in the playoff hosting a group of 5 team, most likely. So,
Well, I mean, yeah. That's just UNLV. Did anyone expect UNLV to be this close?
Dan Mullen, 10-2,
who won Natties with Florida as an OC, who was the head coach of Florida for years. Dan Mullen, UNLV could be in the playoff if what? Virginia loses and JMU loses. Right?
Yeah, that's all they need, and they win.
And they're in because
as long as they're ranked above Duke, but I think they should.
And
be.
the ACC will completely miss. If Virginia loses, the ACC will probably completely miss anyway, right?
So that's where the talk is. If Virginia loses, Duke's not getting in. But would the committee look at themselves in the mirror and say, "Are we really about to say no to a Power 4 conference this year?" And if
that's when they might jump Miami in.
That's where they might take Miami over Notre Dame and say, "Oh, we were wrong. BYU lost to Texas Tech, and so then we put Miami and Notre Dame next to each other, and Miami beat Notre Dame, and now Miami's in."
And this is why they should already have Miami ahead of Notre Dame.
Yep. Very true.
Look, you're gonna probably get more money with Miami in the playoff anyway. It's just thinking like the committee would think they're gonna get more money from Miami in the playoff anyway. But man, if you see the BCS computer, what it would spit out, and you can because people are doing this online.
BCSknowhow.com on Twitter.
It'll show you that if Virginia loses and JMU loses, like none of those teams will be even remotely close to being ranked high enough to get into the playoff anyway. It's just you already have to let in. You just got the rule is silly. You got to let in the 5 highest conference champions.
Yeah, I pitched a rule to you earlier that I heard from Bussin' with the Boys and Josh Pate. I believe it came from Pate. He said, if you just add a few words to that rule, it'll partially band-aid this utterly broken system. If you just add the top 5 highest ranked conference champions ranked in the top 15, make the playoffs. So what that means is a G5 team can get in, but they have to win their conference and they have to be ranked in the top 15 among everybody.
It's going to be really hard, but if they deserve to be there, they deserve to be there.
Like Boise State did it last year, right?
Yep.
They were already ranked in the top 15. That wasn't a question.
Yep.
They were
competitive with Penn State too. They just had some field goals go into the stands.
It's very true.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hi, Jack.
Hello.
How do you feel about Miami being ranked higher than Notre Dame?
Well, it depends on your worldview, really.
On your worldview?
Who are we talking?
We're talking about Miami and Notre Dame. You know the teams that played at week 1?
Yes, the teams that played week 1. I'm a Notre Dame fan. I like Notre Dame.
State the Notre Dame case.
I would be excited to see Notre Dame in a playoff. I think if we're going how the college football playoff has proven that they usually go based off of last year, they're going to go with who they think are the best teams. Notre Dame's 2 losses are to top 10 ranked teams. Where is A&M?
A&M is 7th currently.
Yep.
Okay.
And
their 2 losses were at the beginning of the season by marginal amounts of points. And they've been undefeated since. They haven't had a great win schedule. I'll admit that. However, if we're going based off of last year, where we're choosing the best teams, then it makes sense that Notre Dame should make it.
And that is verbiage that the committee has used in the past. They have said, when they kicked out Florida State, they said, we're not looking for the most deserving teams. We're looking for the best teams.
Yeah.
The problem with the argument is I think that would have worked 4 weeks ago. And so I covered this just a little bit ago, but I'd like Jay Bird to hear this as a Notre Dame fan. I think that would have worked 4 weeks ago after Miami lost to SMU.
Yeah.
Because it looked like Miami's got 2 losses since they had a good win, but like it's not looking good. Since that loss, they've won 4 straight, blown out opponents by more points than Notre Dame has against the same opponents. And so I was in the camp that Notre Dame was better, but I think based on on-field results, Miami has shown to be very similar. I would still pick Notre Dame to win the game. Don't get me wrong, if they played. But they're very similar, and so Miami beat them head-to-head. And last I checked, week 1 isn't the preseason. It counts. So, but it is close, and it is a change of position that I had. But so if Notre Dame is not in the playoff, would you like to see them go to the Pop-Tart Bowl, aka the People's National Championship?
Oh, I would absolutely love that. I think the Pop-Tart Bowl is an honorable bowl game, and I would enjoy that if that is where they ended up.
That's the only correct answer.